Welcome to my messy life. Take my hand and dive right on in with me. It's gonna be alright. Messy imperfect life with Leigh.
Today I have on the just gorgeous inside. Fairly cute on the outside, but just gorgeous on the inside. Maryann Ehmann. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Good.
Don't we have to keep going?
Oh.
Amen. 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 Hallelujah.
Whoa,
Ooh,
that's not
that
bad.
happened. So anyway, I was like, it's pronounced Amen. She's like, Amen.
Yeah.
That doesn't suck as a last name.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, because people are like, how do you pronounce it? You're like, Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Snap, snap, snap with a little
Yeah.
hip wiggle.
I got to have the hip wiggle.
So did you and I meet in Craig Does Waltz boot camp?
I think so.
And I think you were a friend of my friend Minda. And she was going on and on about this Maryann girl. And I was getting jealous because I'm kind of Minda's girlfriend / daughter / vodka drinking partner. And she was like, oh my God.
I knew you were going to be jealous.
I was so jealous.
Yes.
I was like,
I said,
hi,
I hope she
Maryann.
doesn't hate me though.
I was like, hi, Maryann. Whatever. I can see right through you. Minda likes me better.
I know who you are. Yes.
Even you have on one of Minda's necklaces right now.
I do. I have like custom made stuff. I got Minda's necklace on. I got my daughter's shawl she made for me. Yeah.
That's so sweet. Your daughter makes shawls?
Yes.
Shawls.
By that.
I like it with the little beads.
I know, me too.
Oh.
But to guarantee that I'd wear it, because once she made one and I didn't wear it because I didn't really like the color.
Yeah.
So I picked out merino wool with silk.
Ooh.
And the color. So I did it all, making sure in the pattern so that I would make sure I wore it.
I think I want her to make me something like that.
Oh.
With little silver balls or black. I mean, in black. Mm-hmm. With little silver or black balls at the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I would be interested in discussing that with her.
I will hook you up.
Thanks, girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to read this. Normally, I don't read these pages. I don't do a lot of research about people because I really just want to be in the moment with them and hear what they want to share about as opposed to what they've done in the past. But this was intriguing to me because it's kind of like I used to say about John Wayne or, no, maybe not John Wayne, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Ronald Reagan. It was like...
Are you saying I'm like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, physically you look very bulked up like him.
Okay.
But other than that, not so... No. My thing is when I think about them, I'm like, he was the greatest bodybuilder in the world. Mm-hmm. Then he was the governor of California. Then he was the #1 box star office. It was like most people get in one lane and become the greatest, and he became the greatest at 3. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
It's like this
I think I know
Renaissance
where you're
man
going.
thing. And the same thing with Ronald Reagan is, I know there's both Republicans, but I straddle the line. I vote with my heart. I don't have an affiliation or anger tied to either. So I liked with Reagan that he was this cowboy and he played football in college. I think it was a quarterback or something. I'm going to make that up. I don't remember his position. But then he also was a big actor and successful and became the president. But those aren't the same lane.
Right, no.
It's not like I'm
How
a
does that
representative
happen?
becoming a senator, becoming this, becoming president. He's like, I'm an actor and a football player becoming president. So I just think that this, your little thing I want to read right here, not little.
Okay.
Former prosecuting attorney.
I was a teacher before that, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teacher.
Yeah.
What grade?
4th.
4th grade? Oh, nice. I wish you were my daughter's 4th grade teacher next year.
Aw.
Former prosecuting attorney, teacher, corporate financial advisor, ministry leader, and business owner. And right now you've created the magnificent love coaching.
Yes.
I love being a love coach.
I do too. I'm not really a love coach, actually. I just am like everything through love, everything with love.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
It's love is the most powerful weapon we have on the planet, the most powerful tool, the most healing thing, right? The most beautiful thing we have access to. So when people say, I'm a life coach, I'm like, that helps people navigate their kind of messy life. But when you're a love coach, it's taking it so much deeper and more beautiful.
Yeah.
In a more
I didn't
profound
start
way.
claiming that till, I think, 2017.
So 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you claim it?
Gets into what happened with my husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
are we jumping in your mess right now, girl?
I don't know. I'm just warning you. That's where it came from.
Well, I want to hear right now because what we're going to hear now is some messiness from your life which I think as we share that, it unites us with other people.
Yeah.
Especially those who are about to go through it and don't even know, or the people who are knee deep in it, that we're going to give them light and that there's going to be a pathway out. And not only that, but there's greater good coming.
There is so much light. There's so much good. There's promise for every tragedy. I think there's always a promise in it.
I want you to tell about your husband. What's his name?
Gene.
Gene. Have I met him?
I don't know.
Isn't he a big, handsome guy?
I think so.
He's big, right? Like tall?
Was 6'2". He's maybe 6'1", maybe 6. I don't know.
He was 6'2". Yeah, it's funny when you hit a certain age, it just starts going down. Yours hasn't because you're tall.
I am, but I've shrunk a little.
How tall are you before you shrunk?
5'9".
5'9", so you're 5'7"-ish?
I don't think I'm that short.
No,
maybe 5'8".
You've maybe done like a half a centimeter down.
I have not measured myself in a long time, so I'm not sure.
Is your husband military or something? I remember there's something big, broad, and sexy about him.
Former FBI.
Oh, that's it. That intrigues me. I'll look at a picture of him later.
Yes. What's really cool is that, while I was here in LA, he had a film crew came down to Scottsdale to film him about a story they're investigating on a mobster, a guy who claimed he didn't have anything to do with the mob in Canada. And my husband was very involved in, he was instrumental to putting away a guy named Joseph Bonanno, who was the kingpin of the United States for about 50 years.
Wow.
And nobody could ever catch him. And so my husband went through his trash for 3.5 years.
Wow.
Pieced together all of his notes and was able to get enough evidence to get him put away. But on top of it, this guy had dealings with a cheese company up in Canada. And though that was denied, so he had to go through, do Senate hearings and give evidence so that they could close off that relationship between Bonanno and the cheese company. Well, now the guy who owns the cheese company, after 40 years, is now being investigated.
So Canada cheese, not such a great thing? Canadian cheese?
I think the cheese probably fine.
Or just that cheese company. It's just, it's like a shelter for bad guys.
There's money laundering going on, but at the same time, they actually it was as big as Kraft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a fairly substantial company, right? But anyway, So this film crew, this investigative reporter found him about a few weeks ago because he went rifling through all the documents and found my husband from the Senate hearings, contacted him 40 years later. That's what's just so incredible about this.
Wow.
And so they came and went through boxes of notes and went down to Tucson where the guy lived and recreated the scene in a van. I mean, it was really kind of crazy.
I love that. How fun. Oh, it was like kind of one of those recreation shows, recreating it?
I don't know, but they're using him in it.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so they filmed your husband talking about it and all that. Did he have a great time?
He did.
Was it a blast?
It was a blast. And it's also, he is, I don't know what's going to happen with this, but there is a producer right now looking at creating maybe a Netflix series or something out of his story.
Oh my gosh, let's just put that out to the universe that Netflix or someone is going to make your husband's story of getting this kingpin that no one else could touch. And I kept thinking when you were saying the trash thing that one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Right? That is true.
And this is that bad guy's trash is going to become your husband's treasure.
Yeah.
And letting other people see how when you're meticulous and you're on point and you're focused, you get what you want.
Yeah.
You don't give in. And you don't make yourself above digging through trash.
Exactly. So the guy, Bonanno, actually did write a book called A Man of Honor, and Gene is in it, and he calls him the trash can cop. And of course, he has nothing good to say about him in it.
Of course, because he busted him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should say vile things. That means he did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, tell me about the mess, because that's good stuff right there about Gene.
Well, the mess was back in 2016. We moved from Rochester, New York, to Scottsdale, Arizona, and all full of vim and vigor. Felt like teenagers with a backpack on, and we're just like, we got rid of the big house and all the property and 6,000 square foot stuff.
Damn.
And we moved into a 2-bedroom apartment, right? Was so excited. He was excited about it because there's a lot of work that goes into the land we had.
Yeah.
And something breaks down, he's got to fix it. It just was getting to the point where he just so
More
sick
problem
of it.
than it was worth the joy.
Yeah. So we were, packed up everything into a truck, moved out west, and so we get to Scottsdale and move into this little apartment. I've got money in the bank. Everything's going. My business is flowing. And I'm like, don't worry.
Which business did you have then?
My coaching business.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was stabilized. I said, don't worry, honey. You just take your time, get organized, work on the house. I will carry the burden of being...
You're a superhero.
I am. I can do it. And really the money had been very stable for quite a while, right? So it really wasn't a problem. But I didn't expect that he would, once we got to Arizona, first thing that happened, I think, was he got stung by a scorpion.
Wow.
Then he broke out these mysterious rashes. Then he had to have surgery on a melanoma on his nose. He waited way too long for that. And then he was trying to reestablish a business there, as an investigative business there, but that wasn't happening. And then he got 2 pulmonary blood clots in his lungs.
Holy Toledo.
Which we didn't understand at the time was really near fatal.
Yeah, I was going to say that kills you, but how'd you find it? Because something was hurting or his breathing was hurting?
His back was hurting a lot.
Oh, and they got it there fast enough before they ruptured.
Yes. So we had we thought that it was just a pulled muscle. But after a few days, I realized, so I had a couple events that I was supposed to be doing at that time that I had to cancel because of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the interesting thing is my husband's always been extremely strong. He went 14 years without a cold. So,
right.
And worked like just a workhorse, And so.
How long have you guys been married?
It's going on 35.
Oh my gosh, this is your same husband the whole time?
Well, I was married before.
Because I thought you were married before and this guy was more recent, but you've been with him 35 years?
We say we have 5 marriages together.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm his third. He's my second. I think that's 5.
Oh, you're his third?
Uh-huh.
And he's your second?
Uh-huh.
Wow. So you guys, he's getting it on his third and you're getting it on your second.
My first husband died.
Oh.
That's not why we separated, though.
Oh, you were separated from him.
Right. We were going to get back together again, and he got a brain tumor. The first husband got a brain tumor.
Did that go fast? Or horrible?
No, it actually, and we were going to get back together. I just wanted to finish law school, right? So we did get back together, and it wasn't right. He got the brain tumor. I kind of nursed him through that. And then he took the next 5 years to just travel the world. He went nomads and Tibetan monks, and
oh, wow.
He did all that and came back and got a job at IBM. And then within a couple of years, he passed.
Wow.
And by that time, I was now married to Jean.
Yeah, because that going away to Tibet for a few years would put some freedom for you to meet someone new.
I said, will you please just go and meet some monks?
Your divorce is so interesting because Dave and I have been married 21 years, and we went through the roughest patch ever last year. And then this year, we're looking at it as, is this something we want to stay in, or has our relationship run its course?
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to allow myself to let go of any judgment on divorce, because I always thought, this is my guy till I die. And then I was like, wait, we're kind of funked out and we're no longer walking together and we're not partners together. Why am I holding on to this belief it has to stay together? And kind of just when I release that, beautiful things are opening up. It's made so much more room. Like even like a little judgment we hold on something. Every time I hold anything, God makes me go through it or allows me to, so I can shut it. All judgment on anyone for anything.
Well, I think especially when we release any kind of pressure.
Yeah.
I think pressure to perform, pressure to make things happen, pressure to be perfect, pressure to prove something, all of those pressures just, get in the way of what it is we are meant to really do and be.
And so when people really want something, it's a repellent.
Yes.
Because it's that energy is not of abundance, joy, or love.
Nope.
And it blocks you and keeps you further from it.
Yeah.
So it's so wonderful to know what you want to thank God that it's coming and to be open to the river that you flow down.
Absolutely. And well, back to the situation, because what you're saying plays so perfectly into that. After the pulmonary embolisms, 1 month later, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. So the brain tumor was a miraculous surgery, and it was 4th stage metastasized melanoma cancer.
No, you're talking about Jean.
Jean.
No, Jean got a brain tumor after the skin cancer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. The skin cancer was his 8th melanoma.
Okay.
But I think waiting too long
Got
on
in,
that.
creeped around.
Yep. And it went in, and it was a couple other places in his body. So anyway, the surgery was beautiful. But when I realized that, oh my gosh, not only am I going to be the breadwinner, but I want to take care of him 24/7. And the way my business operated is I could do all my clients online, which is fine, but new business, going out and speaking, traveling, I was always on the go. And I didn't want to do that anymore.
Right.
But I didn't know how am I going to continue to bring in money then?
Yeah.
You know, on top of it, the clients that I had, most of them paid me up front at the beginning of the year.
Right.
This is end of August.
Yes.
And we had gone through so much of our savings, you know, even the equity in the house, because he wasn't working.
Yeah.
The move, medical expenses.
Yes.
So this is kind of embarrassing, but after the surgery, everything's great. I looked at my bank account. I wasn't paying attention for a while. $600. That's all I had.
Is that the embarrassing part?
Everything was gone.
I thought you were going to say, so I started hooking. So that would maybe be embarrassing, but no. To be so present with the upsets of life and in the mess so heavy and caring so deeply and trying to figure it the hell out. Of course you have $600.
That's all it was. And one of my family members I was kind of expressing this fear, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know? There were so many issues with that. But the family member, which I won't mention, but the family member's like, where did all the money go? What did you do with it? You know? So there was
just what you needed to hear in your heartache and uncertainty.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Yes. And
it amazes me when people show up that way.
Right?
Like, can you not feel my hurt? Do you know if you put that, you're going to drive it further in? I need relief. I need help.
Yeah, I did. And I just withdrew. So there was that. The other thing was, though, my business was called Create Your Magnificent Life.
I love it so much. See, I chose wisely with messy and perfect. I don't even have to fix my hair. And I can cuss.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it so funny to have? This is what I'm going to create for you. I don't fucking have it, but it's coming for you, kid. It's so interesting, but that's where we really learn how to do it and who we really are behind all these numbers.
Yeah. And you know, that whole imposter syndrome thing.
No.
Well, you wouldn't.
Tell me about it.
Because you're all, really, honestly?
Where people act like there's something else?
No, you feel like a fraud. So here it is, Create a Magnificent Life. I'm this success coach. You know, I'm going to help you create this wonderful lifestyle business.
Yeah.
And I was. But at that time, when all of that's happening, I didn't want to reach out to anybody. No. I didn't know what to do with that now, you know, because nothing was magnificent at this point.
No.
And so I had this horrific meltdown where I was feeling guilty at the same time, because how could I be worried about stupid money when my husband has got 4th-stage cancer? We don't know where this is all going to go. We know he's got treatments coming up, right?
I love even when we're down, our minds beat the shit out of us.
Right.
So on top of this, now you're having guilt and shame.
Oh my gosh.
It's like those are the cement, those are the casket closers, you know, to put you down in the ground or on your knees.
Yeah. And nobody could talk to me. I mean, I didn't want to talk to anybody and nobody could talk to me, right? Because all I could see was, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I'm not enough. I can't do this. Yeah. And I was really angry at God because I have really strong faith in God, but I felt like God had abandoned me, like there was no help here. And I just screamed out, you know, excuse my language, but where the fuck are you?
I'm so happy you said fuck. Because I'm a cusser on occasion and you're such a refined, beautiful lady. That just brought me joy, just FYI.
Oh,
And especially because you said it to God.
I did.
Who the fuck are you, God? You got to save your F word for the powerful one.
Oh man, I meant it too. You should know, as a side note, I have been asked in my previous, when I was younger, I have been asked to leave playgrounds. Well, playing tennis. I was a tennis player. Because every time I missed a shot.
It's so weird. I have Tourette's when I play tennis too.
Really?
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Yes.
Fuck. Sorry. It's so weird.
Yeah. Children play around here. Would you please leave? You know?
Wait, you getting kicked off a tennis court is a riot.
Yes.
Sometimes it happens to be in bars, and I'm like, how bad am I?
Well, that happened too, but.
How bad am I? I get kicked out of a bar. I'm a 53-year-old woman with kids. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be in a bar.
Yeah, my excuse is I was my 20s, so I don't know what yours is.
Oh, wait, mine's still 50. Oh, I still have work to do.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so.
Yeah, so that night.
You had a meltdown.
I had a meltdown. I yelled at God, and I felt probably more alone than I've ever felt in my life.
That's the worst part.
It was. And I went to bed. I don't think I've ever felt as lost. I mean, I've had a couple of bouts with depression, but they haven't been real long and as
debilitating.
acute.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was so acute. And so I went to bed that night feeling so lost and not having a clue what I was going to do. And I cried myself to sleep, actually. And at 4 o'clock in the morning, I know it was God, the voice of God saying to me, get back to love, Maryann. And so I got out of bed, kind of like trance-like almost. And I went to my morning chair and took out my journal. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. How am I not in love? Right? What does this mean? Well, as I started to journal, the things that were coming out were miracles, memories of miracles. And it started all the way from when I was a baby. I had a disease and I was supposed to die by the time I was 18 months old. I didn't. And so
memories of miracles. How beautiful is that? Did you put all those in a book?
I wrote it all down in my journal, which I can't find. But what happened after 2 hours of writing and I just kept one after the other, it reminded me that God is here, that I am worthy, that I am not alone, that even when things look dark, things come out of it, right? And my heart just swelled up. I felt like full of joy. I was like on top of the world and nothing had changed, right?
Except you received love from the Almighty.
Exactly. And that was such a powerful turning point for me. Because even the faith I've had in the past was nothing compared to what was developed in this moment. And so nothing changed, as I said. We still only had $600 in the account. My husband still had cancer. And my business is still called Create Your Magnificent Life. So,
I teach from everything that I've overcome.
Yes.
I teach from everything, from the pain of it. You're not alone. My whole thing is you're not alone. That's why I do anything I do, is to let people know. So I always share my mess and my vulnerability and my heart for reminding myself, acknowledging what I've been through and sharing the gold that I learned from it.
Yeah.
And so I just love so much that you got to have that. I'm teaching this magnificence, but at the same time, I'm human and I have lessons to learn. So I have to go down to 600 and heartache so I can really own the title of my business.
Absolutely. And what I realize about a magnificent life is magnificent love. And that's why it changed to magnificent love coaching.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Yeah.
Because to me, it really wasn't about creating a magnificent life, but it was living in the realm of magnificent love. And when I started to actually feel that deep, deep love inside and that sense of security and hope, it brought everything I needed to actually deal with my husband's situation. There were times when he couldn't walk. He just was doing great and then it slid. The treatments just got the best of him. And there was multiple hospitalizations. I can't tell you how many nights I spent on that couch.
And that he was suffering, but also it's so hard to watch your beloved hurt.
Yeah. And this is what I think this was what was huge for our marriage, because we have a good marriage. We've had a good marriage. We've had a great marriage. But he had to interfere that, because his mom actually withdrew from her husband, his father, when he got sick and didn't want to deal with all the mess of that.
Yeah.
So he knows I'm not that good of a nurse kind of person.
Me either. I'm like, seriously, you're still crying?
Yeah.
To my kids, get up.
Like, somebody else fix this bandage, you know?
Yeah.
Or I'm like, ooh, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think he knew what I would be like if with him in this situation.
Well, this is how life is so magnificent, that your husband was modeled for him. When the man gets sick, the woman flees.
Yes.
And here he gets with you and he's sick and he's looking to you. Have I lost us because I got sick?
Right.
Because that's what he knows. But you get to show up in a new way to help him rewire, reshape, reframe that belief.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that till we were kind of in it, and the joy I had in serving him and loving on him and just doing things for him. He was my priority, My clients were second, but he was my priority. I didn't worry about money, where it's coming from. I didn't worry about anything. We didn't even worry about whether he was going to get healed or not. We knew it. We just knew we had to go through these things in order to get there.
Yeah.
I had so much energy, and even, like I say, as tiring as everything was. So it was fascinating to me that love was so powerful that it closed a gap between whatever gaps were between us.
Yeah.
Gave me the energy, healed him, And we always say that every doctor, every nurse, every support staff was there because as an expression of love. So we took everything as an
love.
Expression of love,
regardless
to us.
of how they showed up.
Yes.
What they were going through.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So often somebody's rude and we make it about ourselves and we hate them and we talk bad about them. Reality is they're having a bad day, but they're still there to try and help you.
Yeah. Yep.
And that so keeps us from suffering as well.
It did.
Just seeing that everyone's of love.
Everyone's of love. Everything is of love. Even when I look outside and there's a tree that was waving from branches, I'm like, he's waving it. The tree's waving at me. That's a little love gift. And I started seeing everything, right?
Me too. And it's so weird when you start seeing life that way.
Yes.
You could cry all day.
Yes.
It's so precious.
So precious.
Or the bird that will come land just when I'm feeling something or missing something, or, a bird will just land right and look at me and I'm like, I see you. Mm-hmm. Like, I see that you're seeing me.
And how much time did that take?
What? 1 second.
1 second.
So it's the second I'm in low energy and kind of diving into it. And then I pause to see what's in front of me. I'm instantly drawn back up to love and to gratitude and joy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it in everyone now. Like everyone I talk to, even if they're assholes, I see who they really are through what they're holding. Because this is bullshit, how
and
we
you don't
present.
get offended then.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm actually, a friend last night told me some really crazy things. A person who I thought was a really good friend, but they were intoxicated, but what they said about me.
Really?
And the things that the guy told me, I was like, boy, a few years back, that would have really crushed me. Mm-hmm. But I know who I am today. Mm-hmm. That doesn't touch me, but I have love and compassion for her. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like what she was going through, that she's getting that drunk and she's saying vile things about me.
Right.
So it's so nice to know who you are and no longer look outside of yourself for validation.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
and
freeing.
I was a person who's always looking outside myself for validation.
You were?
I was.
I didn't know you because we're recent.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you back then.
Yeah.
So that looked like you were always smiling and happy and saying kind of yes with your head?
No, it's by nature. I think that I was born kind of like with this happy-go-lucky kind of nature, smiling all the time. And I also have a lot of teeth. So
you do have a nice smile, and you have pretty smiling eyes too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Some people have smiling eyes, even if the rest of their face isn't moving smile-like. And you have that. You have those eyeballs. You could just not talk, and I could be like, she's happy. Her eyes are smiling.
Well, and the day that the miracle, writing down all the magical, miraculous moments, right? Just kind of like welled up inside of me. What happened though that day was a client reminded me that she was due for renewal. So chunk of cash came in that day. Somebody started a GoFundMe campaign for us, for my husband, right? Because he's an internet marketer. So I should have been real happy about that, but because I was still in that pride mode, I don't want anybody to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I flipped out. Like, who the hell does he think he is? Who gave him permission to do this?
To help us, to raise money for us. Screw him! Because we want the facade that things are great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I heard God say, get back to love, Maryann.
Yeah. To
And I'm like,
receiving.
to receiving.
Our mind screws us so bad.
Yeah, so that was a huge pivotal moment for me. It really saw I didn't know I had pride, right? But it really pointed it out. And there's nothing like receiving to create a sense of humility, not humiliation. It could go there.
I love humility.
But humility, And that's why it didn't matter after that who knew. And
that's like this whole freaking podcast, that the mess is where we retract, we isolate, we get depressed,
Yes.
we're embarrassed, we're in shame. But every single person is going through this damn same thing.
Yeah.
And if we talked more from our mess, then great, I'm like, it sucks. My heart is heavy. I'm hurting. My neck hurts.
Yeah.
My life's upside down. Just to be able to say it and have somebody reach out and touch you.
Well, I think though that, and I do agree with that. And on the other side, I think there's a lot of people that walk around moping and complaining about
it's
everything.
different.
Yeah.
Mine is answering honestly a question.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody says, how are you? I say, I'm heavy-hearted, I'm struggling. And in that moment, I'm able to receive love that God is waiting to show me.
Yeah.
If I allow it to come.
Yeah.
I never go, oh my God, I hate my husband, or oh my God, I hate this, or these people suck. I'm like, I'm hurting.
Yeah. Big difference.
It doesn't even matter why. I'm really struggling right now. I would love it if you would say a prayer for me.
Yeah.
That feels so good.
I had not been very good at that before.
Me either. I'm just getting into it as we speak.
Yeah.
It's my new thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
But
I'm
it
so
is. It's
sick of trying to
wonderful.
pretend things are good.
Yeah.
And when we sat down, I'm not going to bring up anything, but Maryann has this really beautiful thing. She leads people to love. She sat down, she said, besides this, and this, and this, I'm great. And it was all the heaviest shit you can think of on the planet. And I love it so much because it just reaffirms we're all in mess. Sometimes it's a little ripple. Sometimes the waters are still and we get a respite and say we're happy. And then sometimes a tidal wave comes, and sometimes 5 tidal waves comes from different directions and we can't breathe.
Right.
Because we can't find the way out.
Right.
So I just love that you are doing what you're doing with such elegance, grace, and ease.
Thank you.
And exuding love. And
I don't want to live in any other state anymore.
still you're human,
Yeah.
right? And the good thing about wanting to live only in love is, now I have new choices when I get hit by 4 tidal waves, right?
Yeah. And even like you were saying, you can't see the way out. I think what that experience did for me more than anything else is to know no matter how crappy I feel, because I don't think I could ever feel as crappy as that, right? That there is a way out.
Yeah.
I can't see it right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
just have
coming.
to know it's there.
And even the quicker we can get to, oh my God, this is so heavy. God, thank you for the way out. I can't wait to see the light and
Yeah.
learn the lessons.
Right.
Because then all of a sudden we're reframing it and we're looking for the positive in it.
Yeah.
Like in my marriage last year, I wasn't blaming anything on him. I was very aware what was happening for a reason. I mean, I hurt like hell and I cried like hell. And I'm a big believer in feeling the pain, writing it, sitting in it, feeling it, and then letting it flow through you.
Right.
Not experiencing suffering after the pain passes.
Yeah.
So I really felt the pain for a year. But I also thought a lot, what did I do to contribute to the demise of it?
Sure.
Because we were partners.
Yeah.
And, I got really clear with things like I came into the marriage with really low self-esteem. And his unconditional love allowed me to start, you can just push that around if you want to, by the way. You can move it easy, if whatever feels better for you. But just that, I realized, what was I saying? I can't even think about him. Oh, what was my part?
Yeah.
And when we got married, I had low self-esteem. Literally, like, intimacy was so much for me, I didn't feel worthy. So I closed my eyes when we had sex. And I don't know if I ever opened them.
Wow.
And I know he was hungry for connection, but he didn't know how to tell me. And I wasn't giving it because I wasn't able. And then we got in a pattern. So as I evolved and he did what he did, it was just apparent. It'd run its course, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. But I've learned from my parts.
Yeah.
Because I know if and when I'm ever with another person, I say person because who knows? I might want to become a lesbian. Who knows? I'm not limiting myself. I'm only 53.
Life to live.
Right. So anyway, when I'm with the next person, I know I don't have to repeat that anymore.
Yeah.
I know new stuff will come up, but it won't be that. Those contributors.
Well, you're not the same today that you were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
And yesterday, that everything is so impermanent.
Yeah.
Our own body is different. Cell division and all the things that are happening within our bodies.
That's so true.
Day by day. I mean, minute by minute, we're different. Yeah. And I love too that, the last thing, and I want to hear more about you, is that I love too that everything's impermanent. Even these earth suits. Like the only thing that's not is our soul.
Yeah.
That's going to carry on. But we're just here for a minute to learn in these earth suits.
Yeah. I really think our life is really about us learning how to be. We're becoming to be, just like rather than the constant doing, you know?
Well, that's the key. That's the magic. That's like the Deepak Chopra saying, the most important thing you can do on the planet is to meditate once a day. And if you say you're too busy, then you need to do it twice. Because that's where you get the good stuff, the nuggets, God's voice, your clarity.
Yeah.
And I love knowing that we have every single answer inside of our bodies for our entire life. We have everything we need within our body to sustain us and thrive with our entire life. And when we look outside of ourselves, we're outside of it. And when we go within and connect to it,
it just doesn't work.
No.
But we don't trust ourselves.
Because we don't know we're trustworthy.
Yeah.
Because I think it all boils down to knowing your worth.
Yeah, I agree with you. Growing up, I was really, I felt so different and defective being different, that I was always felt like I had to always do something.
Why did you feel different?
Growing up, we were, it was during the Korean War era. I was half Korean and we lived in upstate New York.
So during the war, you were Korean?
The Korean War?
Yeah, you were here in Korean.
Yes.
And people were looking at you like you're the enemy? Or just noticing you look different?
A little of both. It was just, they had fear.
Yeah.
Right? And, with World War II, not that so far behind, and the Japanese, and though I wasn't Japanese, it didn't matter because, Asians look all alike to most people.
That made me giggle. Not because I agree with it, but kind of. Like the other day I was in with an elevator with a gal from from the Philippines. And I was like, oh, are you Latina? She's like, falafelo. Or she said something. I said, what are you speaking?
Right.
And she said whatever the dialect was. I was like, what's that? And she said Filipino. I go, oh, okay. Guess I'm not really great at deciphering the lingo. I
am pretty good about it, but mostly not. People always say to me, what are you?
What are you? Besides a beautiful soul temporarily housed in an earth suit.
Korean, Italian, and Polish.
Wow.
Yeah. So we lived with with my Italian and Polish relatives. So my mom actually, I'm from Hawaii. My mom's from Hawaii. My older sister's from Hawaii.
You look Hawaiian.
Do I? Good. We're going there in 2 weeks.
Oh, how fun.
I know.
You and your sweetheart?
Me and my sweetheart. And I think, this is a newsflash for today, our daughter is going to go with us for a few days. Meet us over there. I know it.
How fun. That's sweet. She can sit on the beach with you and make my black shawl.
Yes. There we go. And I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either.
Anyway, but she asked me today, what do you think about the two of us going skydiving?
That's an exciting question. How how did you feel when she said it?
Well, at first I'm like, nah, but But then I thought, well, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I know that she's gone once or twice before, and it was transformational for her.
I've been once.
Have you?
I've been once. I don't think I need to do it again. I'm glad I did it. Mm-hmm. And it was the scariest. It's so great for your mind.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Because your mind is screaming, don't go out! And literally, I was voicing what my mind was saying at the top of my lungs, but the door had opened and everyone was shuffling tandem. So I was just walking with some man pushing me by, and I was screaming.
You were attached.
I was attached to him, and I was screaming, as loud as I could, and he couldn't hear me. He's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then, boom. And then I look over and I'm like, my mind says, prepare for death. You're going to die. And I was like, well, he can't fucking hear me, so okay. And then we dove, and then he thought it'd be fun to do 8 somersaults. Everybody else just dove. So we're flipping through the air, and I'm like, am I still alive? Have I lost consciousness? And then he pulls it, and you go shooting up.
Yeah.
And then you guide.
Yeah.
And you realized all of that fear and that crazy shit was not real.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'll never do it again.
You should do it again. Why not?
I will only do it again if I go with you and your daughter.
Okay. All right.
No, I should bring some of my kids.
Yeah. I'm actually, what that was making me think about, because I'm thinking about next year. Do I want to have a group next year? I don't know, a coaching group. But I'm thinking about it being something like Magnificent, Abundant, and Free Adventure Club. You know what? You just said that, and I really want people to hear that. So she just said Magnificent, Abundant, and Free.
Abundant and Free Adventure Club. So here's what I love. You can take what you do and always transform it.
Yeah.
And you can think, how old am I? What's important to me now? I would really like to travel and see the world. I'm going to create a group of people who can afford it, right? Mm-hmm. So you're not trying to attract newbies who are just getting it. You're attracting professionals who are always leveling up.
Right.
We're going on an adventure club, and we're going to do one thing a month, whether it's just going to Paris, California.
It might just be a quarter.
Well, whatever the hell you choose it to be. Yeah. But you create something that satisfies your needs, and you get paid for it.
Yeah.
That just shows how it can work.
If I really enjoy the skydiving thing, then I might put that in one of the activities.
Yeah.
I know another activity I do want, this is another dream for me, is, and you might have already done this.
I'm sure I have.
Yeah. You're just like so worldly.
In Kansas and California, but I'm very worldly. What is the next one?
I want to go to Greece, and on one of those islands. You've been there, right?
I went yes,
of course.
For my honeymoon.
See, I told you. You've done skydiving already, and you've done Greece.
I'm going to tell you another one you have to do. But Greece, I'll have to say, we went to like 8 islands in 8 days or some shit. Or
how about just one?
Santorini.
I was thinking that one.
Oh my gosh. I said, oh, honey, I was so exhausted by the end of it, and I didn't get to experience anything because we were moving too fast, and we're both big drinkers. And so it was just like I was always hungover and moving. And I was like, David, I wish we would have done 1 week in Santorini. It's the most magnificent sunsets I've ever seen in the world.
Yeah.
And how it's built into the side of a hill. So our place we stayed was just curtains. And you walked in the curtains, and it was inside a cave with beautiful, it was all white. It looked like inside of a chapel with beautiful, comfortable beds. And you just open the curtain, and it's your balcony looking at the thing in the sunset. I mean, it was, I'm definitely going to go back and only experience that. 100%.
Yeah.
You have to go there.
Yeah. Okay. Shanta, Shanta Muni, who does the luxurious destinations?
No, you have to tell me more about Shanti.
She's in the Rockstar.
Oh, is she the one that's doing the cruise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you speaking on that?
No.
Me either. I was going to, and then I was like, it's too much for me to have to pay and get 10 people. So I was like, that's too much. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but she's putting together some packages for me so that, because whatever I charge, I want everything to be, except for airfare, I want everything to be included.
Yeah.
So.
I want to talk to you more about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to hear how you're doing it. And also to see if we can serve each other or do things, do something together. Yeah. Because we're both about love, and I'm sure we come at it with different perspectives.
Totally.
But it's all getting to the goods.
Yet not.
Yeah. No, it's always the same thing. But the way we voice it touches different people.
It does. It does. I think the thing that is cool, though, is that you're so funny. And I actually am pretty funny.
You are?
Not as funny as you, but I'm kind of funny. and the humor though.
Yeah.
I love the humor.
You're playful. Very playful. I'm trying to think about if I've experienced
that's a
your
good
funny
word.
because I haven't spent much time with you.
No.
Like this, we're just talking and I'm, learning more about you, but
Yeah.
you're very playful, which I love.
That's a good word.
And I'm sure you're funny. I just haven't, experienced the real ha-has yet.
Well, and it's not as... There you go.
I'm kidding.
But you just made yourself laugh.
I know, I'm
that
sorry.
didn't
I
count.
usually do most things that make myself
That
laugh.
didn't count.
No, sorry. Okay, what?
I could do my Korean mom shtick. No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, don't tease me.
I'll do that for you sometime, not on camera.
But I really love how you're knowing that you want to try adventures, so you wrap it into work, and then you can get paid for it, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can get paid for it and write off and help people.
Well, and I've been coaching 10 years, so I'm starting a brand new decade of coaching.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just up level it, like let's 10x your business. I actually want to 10x your fun.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
That's what I want.
I would really be interested in doing something with you.
Cool.
Yeah, because I think that we have different, vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that fun is something that comes naturally that I can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just to contribute. You do all of your own things, but then let's create something together.
Okay.
That would be neat to do.
Yeah.
Another thing I would encourage I'd offer to you. I like that word better because I never like to tell anyone what to do.
Invite me to
I would
consider.
like to invite you to consider or offer you is scuba diving.
Oh, I used to be certified.
Oh my God.
So that's another thing when we go to Hawaii. It is.
It is my, and I'm from Kansas. I ended up a scuba diving instructor for Club Med.
You did what?
I became a scuba diving instructor.
I thought you
Club
said
Med.
I did a scuba diving instructor.
I might have done that as well. No, actually, all the guys I work with weren't that cute, but some like, whatever. But anyway, I became a scuba instructor because I was from Kansas. I got my degree in recreation and leisure. Don't be intimidated. From Kansas State. People kind of get disconnected from it because they're like, she's too smart, she's too wealthy. I went to K-State. But anyway, I went to K-State, got this degree.
Is K-State wealthy and smart people?
Oh, hell no.
I was going to say.
And recreation and leisure. It's like I'm saying I got an MBA from Harvard. It's like, no, recreation and leisure from K-State. Whoop, whoop. And I'm damn proud of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to work at the island of, in my bikini all day.
Yeah.
I went to the island of St. Thomas and I got a job at a resort and I created a resort activities program for them. And I had my first dives, my first ones. And I was like, what on earth is happening?
Yeah.
It's complete stillness and silence. I take a breath and I go up a little. I exhale, I go down. I'm with the freaking fish. I can hear my breath. I could hear the bubbles. Before I was still like doing cocaine and getting drunk and making out with people. I was in my 20s, I think. But something about being under the ocean was the most calming, beautiful place I'd ever been in my life.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I adore it. So then I went to work on the island of Guam.
Oh, cool.
At a place called Pacific Islands Club where I did all kinds of activities, but I deepened and I became a rescue diver. And then I got my dive master. And then I called Club Med and said, hi, this is Leigh from Kansas. I am a dive master or rescue diver. I think dive master's higher. I'm a dive master. I'd like to come work for scuba diving. She goes, sorry, Leigh from Kansas. This was Maria Flores in New York, office of Club Med. Sorry, Leigh from Kansas. We only take dive instructors. Call me back when you are one. And I said, I will, Maria Flores. I will call you back. Hung up, got in the first program in Kansas. Yeah. I had to dive in a quarry. It was freezing as all get out. It was nothing like diving in things that bring me a great joy.
I learned how to dive in Rochester, New York.
Yes. Cold as hell.
Yes.
You do it in a pool.
And murky.
Yeah. And then you go and you can't see 5 feet. You're like, I hope I'm still going somewhere I should be going. I can't see anyone.
Where's that rope?
Yes. So I think it took a month or 6 weeks. I took the course and I passed barely. My dad had to just keep trying to help me with the physics part because I couldn't get it.
Oh, yeah.
But
there is a little bit of brainiac work you got to do.
I was like, seriously, you just go under and breathe. Why the hell do I have to know all this shit? I won't remember. Right. So anyway, I became an instructor. I called her back. Hey, Maria Flores, this is Leigh in Kansas. I become an instructor. And she belly laughed, said, send me your credentials. And I was on a flight 3 days later to Tahiti.
Wow.
For 8 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible.
So diving was your kind of ticket to adventure.
No, birth was my ticket to an adventure. Birth was my ticket to adventure.
I see. That was just one of the stops along the way.
That's where I fell in love with nature, and I fell in love with hearing my breathing. I think it was St. Thomas, and it deepened each time I went in the ocean. You know, that a girl from Kansas ends up a scuba instructor in Tahiti. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And the ocean and the beach were
pretty bizarre.
Important to me.
Yeah.
So I knew when I was done 3 years stints with bikinis and nothing else to show, and all my friends had apartments and jobs that seemed so sexy, I was like, I've got to move somewhere and set up shop for my life. And my friend was like, Miami, and my other friend was like, no, you have to move to Manhattan Beach, California. And she said it was such conviction that I finished there, went to Europe a little bit to see an old college boyfriend, and then I drove my car from Kansas to Manhattan Beach and got a roommate and started my wonderful adventure here, which is my home. Like, I've been here longer than Kansas.
Anywhere else, yeah.
And this is my home. It's so interesting to come from somewhere and get to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
I get it.
All of it's been incredible.
Yeah.
Even the shit storms.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it fun, though, to recall a lot of that stuff, you know, because there's not just adventure, there's lessons and everything, there's expansion and everything, you know? But we don't sometimes take time to reflect. Like
you did that one day that
almost
changed your life.
Forced.
You got the message by Jesus, sit your ass down and start writing, or God, or that universe, or the universal energy, whatever feels comfortable for anyone watching, because I hate anyone to get closed up by anything.
Right.
But that there's always a greater thing going on.
Yeah.
And that greater thing said, sit down. Not really, but said, like, get back to love, which got you out of bed, sitting down, writing, and reflecting on all of the miracles that have happened.
Yeah, it gave me a whole new lease on life. And, you know, the other thing, too, about love is that it was revelation. So it provided this incredible insight, right? And this deep gratitude. But then on top of it, it was the whole healing process, right? But even in the meltdown and the crying out and the swearing to God, you know, what love does, I think, is redeems, right? There's redemption in everything.
What does that mean? It's not clicking in my head.
Well, you know how sometimes... even when you
it means it's okay you went through it because something greater came?
Something greater. Even when you, like, a lot of times people feel guilty and they feel like, I do something wrong, something bad's going to happen to me, or I got to punish myself, or I got to beat myself up, or something like that, right? So then when they think about God or love, because I equate the two, by the way.
Well, God is love.
God is love.
God is all there is, and all there is love.
And if I am one in God and God is one in me, then I am love.
100% girl.
Yeah.
We're love.
So...
we all are.
When you do something wrong, and I work with a lot of people who do suffer from worry and guilt.
Yeah.
Shame, worry, guilt.
Most
right?
people.
And it doesn't matter how accomplished they are.
No.
Doesn't matter. But the whole thing about guilt is it carries with it the need to be punished. I do something wrong. It's just innate in us.
Yeah.
We need to be punished somehow. So you'll not allow yourself a blessing. You'll withhold something from yourself. You'll beat yourself. You'll say bad things
You'll
about
miss
yourself.
miracles in front of you because you're not worthy enough, feeling okay to accept them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was talking to somebody about this recently, and she says, okay, I can buy the forgiveness and that God loves me, and, you know, all right. But, you know, there still is consequences. There are consequences, you know, to your actions. So you do have to, you know, suffer the consequences. And I'm like, well, why? Why do we have to? If love is everything, why can't...
You don't have to ever suffer.
You don't have to...
That's a choice.
That's right.
Ever.
And you sometimes don't even have to go through the consequences. Sometimes those consequences can be turned around.
Well, so consequences... I don't think you have to have the consequences unless you choose to.
Right.
But I think that
But a lot of people think you have to go through.
You go through pain.
Right.
Because I think anytime there's change and it's not in our perception of love, although it is, because it's for a greater growing and learning, but when you're in the freaking pain, I forgot what I was going to say about it.
Well, you're saying you don't really think, you put yourself through the suffering.
Yeah, so I always believe that when you go through hardship or whatever, it is sad, and there is mourning, and there is grieving, and I say feel the hell out of that.
Right.
Be in it, feel it, but let it flow through you, don't hold it.
Yeah.
And then you can move from the lessons right?
Yeah.
The acceptance, the lessons, and then you have gratitude. You
And
don't
things
have
get
to
turned
suffer.
around sometimes.
Right.
It's like whatever you're, like with the whole thing with the cancer, all right? Like some people don't get healed. I don't know why.
Because they're not ready.
You know?
Because they want to live their story and not who they truly are. They want to live their make-believe stories. That's their comfort zone, and they're not open to stepping out of their comfort zone. It feels too scary or too big.
So that's why they don't get healed of cancer, you think?
Oh, okay.
That's what I
I
meant.
thought you meant just healed from, well, they say every dis-ease comes from being dis-ease
Right.
from our body.
Right.
And all of those, everything's bouncing around, and then they find each other, stress and anger, and they find each other. And if we don't release them, we don't give them an outlet, they have to form something that we have to look at.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I even think that, even though my husband was very healthy all that time, when all these things started happening to him, I couldn't help but thinking, what we think about, we bring about. So what is going on here?
Yes.
What are you thinking about? What's been, and sometimes men aren't as aware,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Sometimes.
Sorry.
I thought he was waving, but he's saying we have 5 minutes.
Okay.
I thought he was like me. I'm not aware. I was like, you're a little bit aware, Ben.
Yeah. But I think that I was traveling so much that I think, and I'm not saying that I caused cancer, all right? But he had a little bit of depression, missing me from working and being out all the time. And sometimes I'd be gone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time,
And what's interesting about that is when you get to the point of self-love, right? Self-awareness, you need nothing outside of you to be anything, to be full and whole.
Right.
But when you don't know that, right, is when the depression and the other things take hold of our mind and derail us.
Yeah.
Because we're not connected to our true worth and power.
Yeah.
And I think that happens to everyone unless they can go here instead of outside of themselves or.
Yeah.
So you're his security blanket left, and he was reaching for it the whole time.
Right.
Instead of, taking care of him. I got you.
Yeah. And so even the cancer caused that reunion in that way.
Maybe. Or he's holding things from his childhood of the story of the dad leaving or the mom leaving or the story of this or the story that they were still kind of tucked away in places.
Yeah.
So when a shitstorm came inside for something else, they all got whirled up and found each other. Do you know what I mean? That there's so it's just so important, each thing we go through, especially now that we're talking about it. Think about, if you guys have not done this, the listeners, that think about things that you go through and give them all of you. Feel it.
Yeah.
Learn from it.
Yeah.
Forgive it. Use it as power. Use it as a source of energy, not a victim mode, because we all have it.
That's right.
We all have it.
We're all in the same boat.
We are. Right. And everyone's pointing at other people's boats and saying, what's wrong with it?
Yeah.
It's like, just paddle your own shit. We'll move forward together.
We are all in the same boat, And we all have the same opportunity to heal and to make something out of it. And to
you get to choose.
Grow in love.
You get to choose.
Yeah.
Do I choose to suffer? Do I choose to stay a victim?
Yeah.
Do I choose to repeat my childhood story of not being worthy? Or do I choose to reframe it, be grateful for it, and learn and soar from it?
There's a wonderful saying, and I don't know the author of this, but it says that our suffering isn't caused by our circumstances, but what we think about our circumstances.
100%.
Yeah.
I say forgiveness isn't about forgiving the other person. It's deciding to no longer choose to suffer over the thought of it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's that same.
You ought to put that on a quote, like a
I got to get my
plaque.
shit. I got to get my stuff in a book.
Yeah, it's just like book, plaques,
Let's just put plaques everywhere.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
And then creative design them. Yeah.
How can people find you?
MaryanNEhmann.com.
Spell it, please.
MaryanNEhmann.
Amen.com.
.com.
And we'll have all the link and all that stuff when this airs. And also to check out what's your program, your adventure, new program coming up?
Well, I don't know what it is yet. It's still forming in my mind.
So
but you know what? If they want to stay in touch, one of the things I did when we were going through the cancer experience was I created a abundance tracker. So every day, so I would keep my mind focused on love and abundance.
That's powerful.
So I created a 30-day program, freeabundancetracker.com. So anybody can go get it for themselves. Download the abundance tracker, and there's an instructive audio. And for 30 days, I will be in your face.
In your face.
Reminding you how abundant your life is.
I love it.
Yeah.
If you haven't subscribed to this podcast, do so now. And follow me on Instagram, Leigh Kechner, LEIGHKOECHNER. What are you on Instagram? Hot Mary?
Sounds right.
Are you going to be on it?
I am on Instagram. I think it's just Maryann Ehmann.
Maryann Ehmann.
Yeah.
Check her out.
Yeah.
I'm happy you came today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad I got to spend time with you, just not admiring you through Minda's praise all the freaking time. I got to have my own Maryann love.
Let's not make her jealous.
Too late. All right. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
You're a delight.
I love you.
Okay. I love you too. I like to hug. Push that out of the way. Stand up and hug me. Hug me! Like you've never hugged.
So little.
Am I little?
No, you're not.
Oh.
Hi, little. Hi.
Okay.